good man.
How's the barricade coming along?
It ain't. Hear nature's symphony in this place. Now, it is quiet. Quiet and dead.
I can make some animal noises if it...
I won fair and square. There's no point in playing again. I want a challenge.
Though shrouded in shadows, the child's resemblance to Thaniel is unmistakable.
Go on, find someone else to play with. Spoil sport. I'm not going back. I like it here. I've made a family for myself. I get to play all the time. Yes, I do. You can't make me do anything. I don't want to play with you anymore.
He's scarpered. We'd better track him down if the shadow...
I'll make my own fun if I have to. And my own friends.
to focus. Fall, damn you.
You want to play? Let me show you my favorite toy.
My faith will protect me.
You're spoiling my... leave me alone? Why can't I just stay here, playing? I had everything I've ever wanted, right here! I'm not leaving. You can't make me...
Be gentle. He's much more than a child. But he doesn't truly know that.
He's nothing to me. He left me here all this time. I had to do everything for myself. Even when it was scary, even when I was alone. I didn't give up. But would he even want me back? I've changed. A lot. So I wouldn't have to make up friends to play with anymore. I'd have someone real. I'd like that. And he would too, I think. All right, I'll do it. I want to do it.
Well done.
Are you crying? You're a bit big to be crying. But I suppose that's okay. Bye. And thank you for playing with me.
It's done, at last. Soon the land will be unshrouded. We should return to Thaniel when we can. It is done. We should return to camp when we...
These land, no matter. She wishes for Ketheric.
The druid Halsin spoke to me while I was sleeping. 100 years of sickness almost ended. I feel every root that riddles the earth beginning to unfold. But there is one anchor, still holding the shadows in place for the land to heal.
Oakfather preserve you. Only by reputation. She was present when we marched against Ketheric Thorm, but on the far end of the battle line, and in the chaos that ensued, though in truth, I should not be surprised. She was always said to be formidable. No matter how long I live, I will always strive to remain a keen pupil. Only a fool would think he could drink in all knowledge until none is left. There is always more. Nature's tapestry is infinitely complex. I cannot help but wonder how she would have handled some of the challenges I faced as Archdruid. Defended the Grove, Korga, the Shadow Druids. At least now we can benefit from her presence, and perhaps work to a common goal. Honestly, I never thought I'd make it that far. But the absolute... So, I'll remain with you. If you'll have me, that is. So do I. But one duty at a time. I've been unfair to you. I've had unrealistic expectations of your character. But honestly, you've surpassed even those. Seems my faith was more than well-founded. It's true, and I can't imagine I helped with that. Trust me, the day I no longer have to talk about the Shadow Curse will be a happy one. What would you like to know? I had a friend when I was young, long ago. He played with me in the forests where I grew up. But eventually, I realized no one else had heard of him. It was Thaniel, of course. Nature was my very first friend. I get older, but he hasn't changed a day. I knew then that I had to be more than a companion to him. I had to be a protector. You're not a doppelganger, are you? Trying to study me to learn all my secrets so you can take my place? Save for me, my line perished a long time ago. They rest in high forest now, near the shade of the grandfather tree. The grove became my family, with Sylvanus as my teacher. And now I have you. It was a long time ago. The wounds don't heal, but they become more bearable. I'm 350 years old. Of course there have been lovers. Just because I love nature doesn't mean I'm betrothed to it. Though sometimes, nature needs reminding. Right now, I bed down alone, I'm afraid. Perhaps once I talk less of curses and parasites. Well, I didn't pick this scar up in battle. I was in wild shape, only I forgot it was the season when bears are particularly social. A she-bear claimed me as her own and did not appreciate being spurned. I am? Trust me, it's been said. You show more restraint than most in avoiding the subject until now. Who's to say? Perhaps there's a half-orc buried somewhere in my ancestry. Or perhaps not. Sometimes I think conventional wisdom is too narrow about what someone can or cannot be. Stranger things have most certainly happened. I suppose you wouldn't be shocked to learn I love animals and nature? I know. Well-trodden territory. Well then, let's see. I whittle in my spare time, and I've something of a sweet tooth. Although everyone's very amused when I say I like honey. Ornaments, utensils, and ducks. I like ducks. I like what I like. Once you get to my age, you realize there's little point in denying yourself, so long as others aren't affected. Thank me by returning the favor, why don't you? Come on. I'm sure you've something better than carving wooden ducks. Well, they are fierce creatures from what I understand. But as long as you avoid the high seas, I think you can consider yourself safe. Anytime. Druids and Harpers joined together to put a stop to Ketheric Thorm. We marched on Moonrise, and after much fighting, we prevailed. Even in defeat, though, Ketheric turned to Shah. Not long after we sealed him away in his tomb, the Shadow Curse took hold. Then it started to claim all those within its reach. Those who had survived the battles. I wanted to try and find him, but we couldn't stay. We would have all succumbed. When the Archdruid of the Grove, my predecessor, was seized, that was my first day as Archdruid. An inauspicious beginning. You are right, but I must not lose focus until everything has been put right. I've wasted too much time already.
If Bowman says I'll be all... I wish it was different. I hope so.
Halsin's proved himself a Kalir's clutch held 3 dozen eggs, more or less. Though I've learned of creches that harbored 100. Humanoid. How I despise the term. Githyanki are quite superior to humans. Our biology slates state that Githyanki came to lay eggs after we escaped Illithid enslavement and took to the astral plane. It's an asexual process. A favorable change by any estimation. Hideous to imagine a life where I couldn't partake in the pleasures of sex without the looming threat of bearing children. Shukiani. Githyanki chosen by Vlaakith herself to bear young. The Queen assigns when and where they must lay, and how many eggs they must bear. The Shukiani pass their eggs in the material plane. In the astral, time barely passes. It is a meticulous process, carefully timed so that the eggs hatch at once. Go on then. It is over where I am concerned. It is through yet I do not reckon the next resolution may not end in her favor. Mark my... You might as consume all the gate tadpoles you wish. I'm not so craven. Perhaps you... When the tadpole has stretched to it won't hear my scream. My own might will sustain me. I have no need of this depraved power. You might be right. The Githyanki have long studied Geich and used what we've learned. The Zaithisk itself was devised from such knowledge. The tadpole is perhaps not just a curse, but a weapon I can twist and mold to my advantage. Very well. I will swallow my disgust and avail myself of the parasite's powers.
Halsin is such a delight. Woe to the cultist who tangles with that thick hunk of an elf.
It's said that anyone who bathes in the river of blood emerges as one born anew. It's a lot like that, I imagine. I feel the weight of these horns on my head, curling upwards like a mammoth's tusks. I feel these ridges snaking down my neck, not to mention a few bumps and prongs in unmentionable places. But I haven't seen my reflection just yet. Be my mirror. What do you see? I can't tell if you're being silly or serious. I suppose I'll grow used to the new me. The people will see a curiosity, maybe even a beast hungry for their souls. But I will slay their monsters, keep them safe. And one day they will see. I think that unknowable power. I can't say I'm not curious. But once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. Yes, I suppose we should. Still, I am the frontier's avowed protector. If the tadpole must be my curse, then let the powers it grants me be the Sword Coast's blessing. I will consume what I'm...
Halsin is one hench elf. I'm impressed. And glad he's on our side. Like I got something back. Something I've wanted for a really long time. When I touched you, I felt like a real person. My heart was racing, but I didn't hurt you. I don't have to be afraid of myself anymore. I don't have to hold back. Not sure the world's ready for unleashed Karlach, but it's getting it anyway. Thanks to Dammon. Thanks to you. Thanks to fate. Ugh, I don't want to think. Misery always overstays its welcome, and joy leaves too soon. I'll cry later, but not now. Touch! Touch everything! The world's my funhouse. Me too, soldier. Gods, me too.
It's about time Halsin actually stepped up and joined us properly. I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely. Very well. Perhaps there's potential in you. I am indeed a disciple of I assume you've heard of her? My Lady Shah is the Night Singer, the patron of darkness and loss. Most fear the dark, but Shah teaches us to step beyond fear, pain. We shed those cloaks. Before Shah, we stand gloriously naked. Beyond, there's often suffering, death even. Many people break before they curious. I think I did well by joining you. Most agreeable company. Honestly, I think I'm caught for words. Must I? Thinking, find a way to rid us. We've no solid leads. If you discover anything that might help us, I'm all ears. I suppose we'd go our separate ways. Not a slight on your company, of course. Perhaps. Perhaps not. There's someone waiting for me there. Let's just say it's very personal, very private. How are you holding up? Don't be so modest. I can't remember the last time I met someone like you. Perhaps I never did. And never will. You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask? She took me in when no one else would. She's my mother. Don't believe the lies the Selûnites tell. What? Besides my life's calling? Well, I like night orchids and can't swim. Is that the sort of thing you meant? It's a deal. No. Quite literally, if I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shah's mission, of course. It is an act of faith, not to be undertaken lightly. Shao will reward me.
A savvy move, recruit. While I'm adept at most forms of weave manipulation, druidic magic, I know what it is to hunger. So long as he sates his appetite elsewhere.
I think I'll enjoy not for his wit or wisdom. He'll just make an excellent shield if we're attacked. I was one of his first. And now that I'm gone, I'd... Quite the cozy setup you have here.
You wish to consult me? A disparate collection of vagabond. She is tolerable, but her faith in the Lady of Loss is poisonous. The gods are the source of our woes. Though I concede that Shah is far from the worst of them. The Night Singer has some admirable qualities. Far more than her insipid sister. But her followers are repressed. Take the child Shadowheart. She does not... They would... I can tell you this. When the trivial... He's been deprived of freedom and strong blood for so long that he is addicted. While those addictions have their hold on him, he... No. Free. What purpose does... He will only be free when the time comes. I have encountered few Githyanki in my... Meeting Lae'zel makes me wish I knew more. I did. Perhaps she is right. She certainly to one who only sees... those qualities will strengthen as she... The wizard? No. Their mastery of the weave is commendable. In my experience, they do not usually live long enough to make the effort of befriending them worthwhile. Either the enemy recognizes they are a threat and kills them swiftly, or their curiosity leads them to combust while experimenting with the limits of magic. Our wizard. I will reserve my social graces. He is exceedingly self-righteous. Amusing, considering he bound himself to a devil. Will doesn't just have blood, and it is as it should be. I would rather be allied with a war. I have never known anyone so ferocious and unassailable in battle. I often think of mortality as a curse. Karlach does not seem to have such anxieties. She exists in the moment, and she will burn out and be gone in a moment. There is something very beautiful about that.
Burning through our oil, so just about do.
Just about?
Just about.